Guys, what's going on? My name is Louis. Today is November 6th, 2024, and God bless to every single one of you. Guys, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. We have a big breaking news red alert coming out right now. It says here a massive anti-4-5 groups has started in Chicago, Illinois, outside the 4-5 hotel. Give me a second here. Let me just play this really quick. That's happening right now. Right now in Chicago. Oh, we got more. This more videos just came out 31 seconds ago. 31 seconds ago. Breaking news. Ooh, you have Philadelphia. Wow, Philadelphia. So this is not Chicago, this is Philly. Philadelphia is currently organizing a 4-5 anti-4-5 group after the 4-5 elect won November last night. I guess I'm supposed to say last night. Chicago is also currently doing the same.
This is big breaking emergency news. Riots and protests have broken out across the country in multiple different states and cities. We are seeing major protests break out, and even riots are happening, properties being destroyed, and people are being arrested. So let's get into the details here really quick, guys. Please just hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'm posting every single day, keeping you guys updated on this big urgent news, and it just helps to get these warnings out. I appreciate that. So we are seeing a response to the results of the election, right? Donald Trump won the 2024 presidential election last night. It was called late last night. And we are now seeing a response in multiple different cities. We're seeing chaos inside of Seattle, Washington right now. We're seeing things happen in Chicago. We're seeing activity in California right now, protests in multiple different cities, and also Ohio. We are seeing protesters hit the streets, and this could just be the beginning, right? This is just day one. It hasn't even been 24 hours since they called it, okay? And things are already mobilizing. People are already mobilizing, and this is cold. It's winter time, and people are already getting out in the streets at night. So here's some scenes here. We will cover Seattle first, and we will get to Chicago, California, and Ohio in just a second too. But this was the scene in Seattle last night. It says demonstrators in Seattle were arrested after damaging property during a protest on Election Day. This happened late last night, authorities said. A few dozen protesters who were dressed in all black passed 12th Avenue and East Pike Street in the city's Capitol Hill neighborhood. Police said announcements were made to the group over loudspeakers to disperse, and 5 individuals were arrested over property damage. It said protesters also dragged scooters into the streets, and some were tagging public property with graffiti. All right, there's graffiti all over the place with crazy messages. All right, I can't even say the stuff that they were saying on these graffiti messages on here. I can't even say it, right? The stuff that they were spray painting all over Seattle, right, and causing chaos and destroying property, okay? And this is one of the cities where the National Guard was deployed as well, put on standby in case there's any election chaos, and the Guard is actually going to be deployed for a few more days, actually, in case any of this ramps up, right? We're also seeing major protests in Chicago, right? This is coming a day after the presidential election, and this is from the United States Palestinian Community Network. This is the group that's claiming this protest, and they're doing a big protest at the Federal Plaza in Chicago outside of the Trump hotel, right? You can see some images here of these protests, right? Big groups coming out with signs, all printed signs, and a lot of them have the same ones, banners, all these things are ready. It hasn't even been 24 hours, and these groups are already hitting the streets and ready to go. So this is just the start, I believe, okay? And businesses all over Chicago are boarded up, all over Washington, D.C. are boarded up, all over Portland, Oregon, businesses are boarded up right now, and they're still anticipating things to pop off, right? I think it kind of surprised everyone. It was kind of shocked that the results that we had, that Trump won. And I think it might take a few days for these groups to mobilize and get their funding together and all these things, because we're going to see a major response, all right? We're going to see people bust into areas for protests. We're going to see massive protests before the inauguration, right? We're going to see this ramp up coming up to January 20th, most likely, and then even afterwards, we will probably see this ramp up as well too once Trump is actually inaugurated. All right, so Chicago is having protests. There's also protests going on in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, they're saying that there's been anti-Donald Trump protests and rallies that were held in downtown Cleveland on Wednesday nights. And protesters started off at the Free Stamp at East 9th Street and Lakeside and headed south on East 9th Street and marched through the streets of downtown for about an hour. That's what's being reported in Cleveland. And also California, they're reporting hundreds of protesters were on the streets Wednesday night in San Jose, California, and also Berkeley in a public, this is what they're saying, in a public outcry are aimed at both major political parties one day after the re-election of President Donald Trump to the White House, right? And it says that hundreds of protesters gathered in San Jose near the intersection of South King Road and Story Road, while dozens more protesters and counter-protesters gathered on the steps of the Sproul Hall at UC Berkeley.
Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. So, yeah, it's coming out now. You have the left, Mr. Eric, told the left not to go quiet and get loud and get active just 3 hours before chaos erupted in Chicago. Now, this person just called a nation to lawlessness. Wow.